Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to This is just the normal Reality Wagon podcast. This is back where we started. We're back. We're back. This is season 2 of the Big Brother podcast. This is where it all began.
So much has changed, man.
Back in the stew,
Exactly.
because this is really interesting. We're coming up pretty close to. I kind of want to call this like our first year, like the beginning of our second year of podcasting, just because it kind of is.
Yeah, and this will go over in a month's time. It'll be
It's like it's also if we're calling like Big Brother our first landmark, like our first beginnings.
Yeah, it's
So
their fault they delayed it the first time.
yeah, that's on them. I was ready to record in early July back then.
Exactly.
I was chomping at the bit. I was just tweeting at Brett Michaels all day.
Yeah.
I was really just waiting for the opportunity.
I'd love to hear the difference between, like our audio, how we talked,
Oh
how
my
we were presented on
God.
the mic.
Oh
So it wasn't
my
even video.
God, I can't even go back and listen to that first episode. If any of you guys want to torture yourself and go listen to the first one we ever recorded, it was outside.
A lot of external noise.
We were recording it with a free torrent thing that we were using on our computer.
USB wasn't XLR.
It was USB into your computer. Yeah, it sounded like garbage. I didn't know how to audio edit. My first time audio editing, and I was doing it in Audacity at the time, which is a fine software. You can pretty much do anything you need to do in
open
Audacity.
source, yeah.
It's Audacity's fine. It's not as good as Premiere, but it's fine. But I was struggling so hard to do the simplest things because I had never done anything in terms of production. So here we are now.
Dude, so far.
Look at us now. Yeah, man, dude, this is super exciting because Big Brother's back. Season 23. We're here again.
Dude, I'm pumped.
I'm
And
so excited.
looking like a good set of people.
I know. The cast looks really fucking good.
They did listen. They made it more diverse, not just in, actual physical traits, but personality-wise. I
Yeah.
think personality-wise is one of the better seasons I've seen.
So the last season, Big Brother 22, was an all-star season, which I had tremendously high hopes for. There seemed to be, going into that season, there seemed to be a good mix of everything. There was some fan favorites in there. There was some old winners in there. At least one old winner in there. Nicole was in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there were any other. Ian was in it. So there were 2 old winners at least.
Yeah.
I'm starting to forget now. That season stunk. That season was horrible.
I can't even remember. The winner was Derek's former partner, right?
It was Cody.
Cody, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the winner, right? It was Cody versus Nicole in the final?
It was Cody versus. No,
Because the other one burned so many bridges, right?
it was the Italian dude from New Jersey.
Oh, that's right.
How do I forget his fucking name? Enzo.
That's right. Oh yeah. It was just a
yeah.
boring watch because the alliance things.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was like the alliances and like the mega cohort and like no one wanting to like band up and take on the big group and stuff. Like all of those Big Brother tropes that you've come to hate and despise really wrap themselves up into one.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
Yeah. And I remember watching there was someone, I can't remember their name, on Twitter where they'd create like how the groups formed and stuff. And
those were really good.
It was so good. It's so good just to see like how it formed, but like the complication in the subgroups, the groups, the alliances, like who hated who was in cahoots, it was just so complicated. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like it was a very good like alliance-based game, but it was such a boring watch.
Yeah, it was so boring. It was like no one wanted to make a move. And then people wanted to make a move and it was way too late. And it's like the writing was on the wall. And then they all got out of the house and all they did was fucking complain.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
It's like all Kevin does on Twitter is fucking complain.
Yeah.
So, and he played like the worst game I've ever seen. It was like, how did you get on the All-Star season? I know you finished 3rd place in your season, but I digress. One of the biggest things they got out of after last season was the diversity thing. And like, I don't even, like I said, that last season was fucking horribly forgettable, but I don't really remember. I think I remember going into last season being like, oh shit, this is a pretty diverse cast, because the season before that was an incredibly not diverse cast.
Yeah.
And it really came back to bite them because they ran into a whole bunch of issues with like racial stuff and like some other problematic stuff after the fact, and like stuff that was said, and like Kemi came out after that season and was like, Jack is racist, and then like Jack did a whole bunch of stuff that prove that Jack was racist, and it was like, okay,
And the All-Star season didn't help that because, everything that was happening with Day, everything that, like, they were making fun of Ian for being on the spectrum and
yeah.
stuff.
Well, it's like you
Not good
just would have
looks.
thought they were TV pros.
Yeah.
Like they've all been on the season at least, or on Big Brother at least once. Some of them have been on it multiple times, and were like they were all making horrible mistakes.
Yeah. I think
Like,
at one point someone made, like, an Uncle Tom comment or something like that.
yeah, there
And
was
everyone's just like, all right,
I
everyone
think
needs to slow
like
down.
Day called Kevin and Uncle Tom or something. It was just like whoa, or no, David and Uncle Tom.
Yeah, they
It
call it
was
David.
it was like whoa, guys. I mean, it was a really rough watch.
Yeah.
It was the one season of Big Brother that I've ever watched live that made me not like by the end of it I just wasn't into it. Actually, that season and the season before. So
Yeah.
coming into this season, I was cautiously optimistic, and optimistic isn't even the word I wanted to use there. I was just cautious. I was just straight cautious because that shit is. I just didn't want to be disappointed and let down again. And I think a lot of people in the Big Brother fandom felt the same way.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
The cast for this season is easily far and away the most diverse cast I've ever seen. Like you were saying, but even more so than in just like race and just like the visible characteristics. Really diverse backgrounds, diverse ages. No one like super old.
I don't think anyone's super. I mean, actually, 23, I think, is the youngest, right? But
19.
19?
There's a girl that graduated college super early.
Oh, okay.
She was like she graduated high school at 16 and then graduated college at
Oh.
19. So she's saying that she's I don't know how old she might be saying she's like 20 something, but like
But just a good range of people and characteristics. I
yeah,
think.
yeah, it's a good mix.
Joe Frazier's son is in there.
Joe Frazier's son. But it's gonna be. I am more optimistic after meeting them. After I saw the cast pictures, I was like, okay, cool, the diversity's there, but I couldn't get up for them so much. I don't know. It was something about the way the first pictures were taken.
Yeah.
It reminded me too much of last season. They were all awkward photos, and I think they were all photos that were taken at home.
Because they couldn't go to the studio. This one they actually had they didn't have to crop out the weird background.
Yeah,
it looked
so like
SD or something.
Yeah. So like all those the first cast photos I saw, I was like, I don't know how.
And every intro honestly had like a good personality. Like that's what I'm saying is like there's no intro that made me like cringe or like was like, oh, I'm not
they
gonna
all
like this
seem
guy.
they all seem good. Like I could, not that I can see all of them winning,
No,
but I can see. I don't look at any of them and see the instant first one out.
yeah, I don't think there's a clear first outing.
I don't see a clear like bottom four. Like that's the one thing that like that's going to come over time after we get to know them. But I'm really glad that like right off the bat the production element isn't kind of painting them in a horrible light.
Yeah, I think there's no clear enemies. I mean, as of yet, we might start seeing some, but like everyone honestly on the cast seemed like a pretty likable person.
Yeah, I don't think
There was no enemy.
I don't
obvious.
hate any of them off the bat, which is awesome. I
Yeah.
love that for me.
Yeah, great.
I love that for the show. I'll eventually end up hating them.
Oh yeah,
It's only bound to happen.
for some of them, absolutely.
Very opinionated, but the I don't know. I'm really excited to see how this season goes. They're really introducing a lot of new twists.
I think the teams thing, going back to it, especially with
what was the last season with teams? I'm trying
12?
to think 12.
Oh wait, no, the coaches season wasn't it?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Wait,
Actually,
wasn't that 12?
uh,
Could have been 13. Maybe.
I think there was one that like Polly and Natalie and James.
Oh, was that also a team season?
That started off as a team season. Yep, it is.
Which one was it?
It was
18?
Big Brother 18.
Okay.
Big Brother 18 was a team season for a little bit. I don't even know how long it lasted.
Well, I think that might be. I think the reason they're doing teams at the start, they may do the same thing as where.
Oh, because they had 4 vets come back. That was like
okay.
Davon came back and Frank came back. I think James came back.
Yeah.
Someone else came back, and they all represented it.
I
That is
think.
right.
Yeah, I think. I think the teams is going to be a really good start for this. Just just because you have to form an alliance with the people in your group, but you can also create
Oh
like
yeah,
like
Dave Vaughn came back.
inter alliances between teams. But I think this is gonna be a really thing. I think obviously they're gonna end up twisting teams, hopefully by random, hopefully not by choice, because I think that would just make it pointless at that
Yeah.
point to be teams. But I really like that they're gunning for the teams thing.
Yeah, it was just they needed to do something different just to set a different pace.
Yeah, force alliances not to be as severe as they would, because it was literally like if you're not in the main alliance, you're out.
Yeah, it's something where you have to break it up before it starts. The fact that, and like, I guess it's just a testament to, or just like the kind of showcasing just human nature, in that like that's just how packs roll.
Yeah,
In that
absolutely.
like there is this need to have a massive group and to shun outsiders and pick off outsiders and stick with your clan and stuff like that. Like,
Great social experiment. Yeah.
yeah, and very creative of use of the word clan there.
Yeah,
given
very.
given past seasons of Big Brother, but the I like the use here, and I think it was a really important step, and I think they production probably looked at it and went like, we have to do this right now, just because you have to break that up before it starts. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it goes. It's obviously not going to last the whole season. I think it's probably going to last for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think the 4
Probably to
weeks
get
is
down
good.
to like 12.
Maybe 10. Yeah, because
Yeah.
after that, you're like splitting into three. Maybe they'll do like two large teams,
Yeah.
kind of how Survivor sometimes does it. You know.
That's harder. That's way harder.
Oh yeah.
In Survivor, it's one thing because the the evictions aren't determined by a head of household.
Yeah.
Because in Survivor,
It's the whole team.
in Survivor, they only save themselves, and that person doesn't have the clear pick. It doesn't have any determining sway any more than any other person as to who is eliminated.
Yeah.
They all have a vote that weighs the same amount. So in Big Brother, you actually have the person that wins not only saves himself, but also gets to nominate the two people that are up for eviction the first time before the veto comp. So
well, the reason I think that would happen was if you then split into two big teams of like 6, head of household in one, you pick 2 from the other team, and then the inter team has to vote someone off, not just everyone. I think it would just be, I think it'd be a weird, anything where it's just like a weird twist, but I think they're probably mostly going to go with what you're doing and then just kind of do like a free for all towards like 10, 12.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. I think they heard people's
They heard us.
dissatisfaction
Mm-hmm.
with I think Les Moonves and Julie Chen Moonves. I think they were listening to us in our podcast last year. Thanks for supporting the pod, fellas and ladies. We always appreciate you guys. Definitely leave us 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify.
This is not the outro.
It is not the outro.
But please do it.
But please do it, guys. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think they're really trying to go all out with like the whole twist thing and like all that element and all that jazz, specifically because they made the house a gambling theme or whatever.
I do kind of like that though.
Well, I mean, I do too. It fits with what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had some, noticeable things like we didn't like that occurred. I mean, we can get into it. The first gentleman, I can't his name,
Frenchie.
Frenchie, winning all 3. I mean, technically won 2 comps and then didn't have to win the third one.
Yeah,
because it was just himself.
Yeah.
And so basically he won the first comp, which was putting pieces of a puzzle to match an image, like 5 glass panes to try and get it. The second one was like creating a pyramid in your teams that you've selected. It was like a slot table or like a slot wheel. It said you want Derek or Xavier, stuff like that. So you pick your own team throughout it in a draft format, similar to our other podcast, and then they wanted to build a pyramid as like the giant card fell down. Their team won that. So as head of household, he ended up I forget how he got head of household off of that, right? Was he voted or was it just random?
Oh no, because he won the first thing.
I forgot. So he was automatically inducted as head of household.
Yep.
Then he could have gone for a double or nothing, which was your team remains safe for 2 weeks But if you end up getting 2 die on a table that's like 10 feet away, you throw 2 like giant plush die. You have to get them on there in 45 seconds. Your team is safe for 2 weeks. You're not household 2 weeks in a row, but your team is safe, which would be a good gamble. But he chose, I just want the 1 week. I have to secure my team's like first week future, which
Yep.
honestly we both thought was the right move because first week can be so dangerous.
Yeah, it's and if you lose that,
They
your
blame
your
you.
team is not safe and it can be evicted, and he doesn't win. He doesn't get head of household if he doesn't land his dice on that board thing. So definitely something, take that bird in the hand element.
So he went with, I just want the first week.
Yep.
And then production was just like, well, we're gonna have you play it
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
At that point, why win? Why
Yeah.
prove that you could have done
Yeah.
it?
What's it for Frenchie, and I do think he's smart. So he came into the house, and in like his first intro segment thing where they were like, he's like, "Hey, I'm Frenchie," and that's not how he sounds.
I like to try.
He's Southern. He's Southern. So I'm gonna make a caricature of him. But he came out and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm actually really smart. People are gonna think I'm a hick because I work on a farm and I'm from the South. But I'm like from the military and I run my own farm and I'm really smart and blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, dude, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt."
Yeah.
And then he went into the house and he won a couple comps, and it's like, okay, clearly he's smart, but like he's like, I'm gonna use, or during his first segment, he was like, I'm gonna use that to my advantage, let everyone think I'm dumb, but actually I'm gonna be like strategizing behind the scenes, and it's like,
I like it.
yeah, do it behind the scenes, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Coming out and winning the first head of household is a gamble. Sometimes it pays off. I think we looked at it last year, right?
We did. I can't recall the stats. I'll look it up next time.
Do you remember the gist of the stats? Do you remember like the theme of it? Was it like they're actually, because I always had the impression that winning the first head of household was bad, because I remember when Devin did it and he was gone like a week later or 2 weeks later.
I think when we found out when actually Big Brother started, post Big Brother 1, we actually found, and when they had vetoes, we found that I think it was like 70 or so percent, 80% actually made it into like the top 8.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I
it's
think,
actually good. It's a good stat. Okay, it's a good
but
stat.
I think we also found that head of household won the full competition only like 25% of the time.
Yeah.
So you make
but
it
only
far.
25%. Like that's still really high.
Oh, that's still really high. But the point is, you have a high chance of making it past the first half, but then actually finishing, because people already know you as a strong competitor. They
Yeah.
don't want to face you in the last 3 head of household, like the main competition.
Yeah. I'm actually curious how that distribution kind of skews, and whether it's kind of bimodal in that like there's a really heavy amount of people, like if there's a like 25 or 30% of them that are gone in the first 4 or 5 weeks,
Yeah.
and like the other quarter end up in the end, and then like a whole bunch of them are gone like in the middle, like whether it's very like flat or whether it kind of like is concave or anything like that
I
towards
have
the middle.
all this data in a data sheet that I can just look. I forgot to look at, but I'll look at it for Sunday's episode.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I'm not gonna be able.
Oh
to,
yeah, for
but
next
I'm not.
time.
Yeah. We'll definitely. Maybe we can put together a nice little Excel situation and put that on the screen. Not right now. I just put my hand out if you're watching on YouTube, and I'm not gonna do a nice little presentation thing of it right there.
Nope.
It's not coming on screen. I don't have time to edit this shit. I'm going to LA. So
It'll be a post like 3rd week thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
second
It'll
week
be
thing?
up there eventually. We'll
Yeah.
remember to talk about it. Remind us if we forget. Listen,
Exactly.
we're busy people. I talk a lot. But yeah, when he came out there and he's like, I'm gonna play it safe, or not play it safe. He's like, I'm a smart player and I'm gonna play dumb, and people are gonna know that people aren't gonna know that I'm actually that smart. I was like, oh, that's a good strategy. And then he went out there and won the first comp that I guess you could win. It was only against 3 other people, and that's a fine strategy if you want to win that comp. Like that's not too assuming. You're not going to be head of household after you win that comp, so like you can do that if you want.
Mhm.
In all likelihood, you'll probably get some sort of perk out of it, of winning the first 4. Like you're showing off your muscle a little bit, but like you're not you don't have, you could throw the next one and not get any not blood on your hands, but you cannot get like, you don't have to draw too big of a target or anything super early. Second one was a team one, so like that one is harder to throw because your entire team is depending on you. You don't want to piss all them off. That's fine. You end up getting head of household or something like that. It happens. that's less in your control because your entire team is helping you out. You know?
Yeah, I think it also proved that like as a team, he can like he picked good people to be on his team. I think he's showcasing good points. It's just I didn't like the fact that he didn't have to win the third one.
The third
It
one,
was just weird.
that, oh God, he's not an idiot because I don't think he's an idiot, but I want to
No,
call him, for the sake of this and the sake of what I've seen so far, it's a really dumb move. So these dice, the board is probably a yard by a yard.
I think it's long. The dice,
No, the board.
the board, I think was like a 3x1. I think it was very long, but it was pretty narrow.
Okay.
So you
think it was only a foot long?
no, sorry, no, 3 yards by 1 yard.
Oh,
So
okay.
so because the dice were about
Oh,
like
yeah.
this
You're
tall.
right. You're right.
So, but but you could fit 2 dice side by side,
Yep,
and I think
that's
three
right.
in a row. So
That's
it was
right.
like and it was like 10 feet away. So it was relatively
Yeah.
difficult. Like you,
But it,
yeah.
it was like, it was hard. And like 45 seconds to do it, and the dice bounce around and stuff. You got to go chase them if they miss. But he landed one in 2 seconds. So he threw one up, and he threw it with backspin. It landed like pretty flat and just
Right at the
stayed
front.
right in the front. And it was the best possible thing you could have done because it made getting the other one on really hard.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it and you're thinking about throwing strategies without looking like you're throwing it, without appearing like you don't want to win this challenge,
You keep hitting that die.
just throw it up the exact same way you've been doing and always find a way to nick that die.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what.
To the side, up
Hit-
top. Yeah.
Hit the die always, because both die are plush and they're pretty bouncy, and it's gonna bounce off in some direction. It's gonna take a while to bounce. Somehow it might land on. It's very slim.
Yeah.
The odds are very, very slim. And then you gotta like hustle jog, do your thing, but you have to like look like you're running after it to keep
Yeah.
like you're trying, but always look dejected. Like take your deep breaths to like, or your fake deep breaths, not to calm yourself down, but to make it look like you're trying to center yourself and really try hard at it. But like the fact that it actually felt like he was trying,
Yeah. Because
because I thought he was trying to throw it, and then I could see that like he was working out different strategies, and he moved one of the die over.
he did like towards like 10 seconds left.
He moved one of the die over and created more space for himself, and it's like, wait, you're trying to win this.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to win this?
At that point, if you're still trying to lose it and you accidentally do it, you just throw it over. You hit it in the backside. Because the way to win that, in my magic, he had it at the front. So the other way to win that, if it's at the front, you throw it back and you have backspin. It hits back and it'll still land on it
Yep.
as long as you're straight and there's no like wobble.
Yep.
The other way is you throw it first underhanded. You let it roll to the back, and then you throw another one. So that way, when it hits the other die and it's slow enough,
Yep.
it'll stay. So he like his strategy. If he wanted to win, he wasn't doing it for about 40 seconds, and then he tried it, and I'm like, what the hell? What are you doing? You already just lose. Like,
Yeah.
you have no benefit of showing off that you won that because you create an unnecessary rift.
And you win nothing.
Yeah,
He got nothing out of it except looking too strong.
yeah, because he could have just validated his own thought of like a leadership and be like, I don't want to go for this. I want to risk it. I don't think I can do it. And then not doing it. People are like, you made the right choice. Now it's like people might be like, oh, you didn't make the right choice.
Yeah,
now.
it's
he
like
could have validated
you
his
could
own
have,
choice.
yeah, exactly. Like you could have actually saved all of us for an extra week. Like
Yeah.
like dang, you could actually do like that whole element where it's like is just there wasn't I just not a huge. It's not going to fuck up his entire game. It is
No.
not like it, and I don't want to over exaggerate it and say it's going to fuck up his whole game. I'm exaggerating the probably the impact of it,
Yeah.
but it is something where just to keep in mind of like there is like even week 1 live episode. There's been technically. I'm going to call that third thing a challenge as well. There's been
I'd say.
3 challenges, and he's somehow managed to win all 3.
Yeah.
So like, what are we? You have to start thinking strategically before you even step into the house, and that's why I'm gonna win Big Brother 28.
That's why 5 years from now, when you're ripped
That's right.
on Venice Beach,
That's right.
they'll scout you.
That's
That's what you
right.
need.
I'm gonna be so close. I'm gonna be so close.
Yeah. Right next to the studio. Just sneak into the studio. Maybe they'll just accept you.
Yeah. Just move to Hollywood. It's not that far away.
No.
But yeah. So, but the teams thing is interesting. I like the teams breakdown. They got to kind of draft their own teams, but it was just sort of like a pick between 2 people. So, you had to pick like even number of guys and girls, obviously. It didn't really feel like any of the people were kind of dejected
No.
or rejected by the choices so much, which is good. Actually, no, it isn't. I wanted to see more drama before already. I think it would have added a nice little dramatic flair if there was more of an actual pick aspect. But even the people that were picked last, it didn't really seem like it was like why was I picked last? Like some strong people were still left towards the end. Like they kind of like mixed it in.
Yeah.
And like they always matched up like two strong dudes against each other in that slot machine thing.
Yeah.
And like two strong girls or like two pretty girls or like two like nerdy guys like next to each other. So it was just like kind of bound
I
to
was kind of worried that I would feel like they're because everyone I think on the show, based on what they said, has seen and their bios on like CBS's website, they've all seen Big Brother before. Unlike
you want to know why that is?
why? Because
So with Big Brother, the, so they did cast. I think they genuinely did cast more fans this season, which is good.
Yeah.
Last season they obviously drafted fans because I
They
mean
were
except
on.
for David, but because they were all on it. The season before that, what they used to do is they would just cast pretty people and like that's fine.
People had agents.
You
and
want
stuff.
attractive people on TV, but they drafted models and actors and stuff like that. That's what they did.
Yeah.
Because they knew how to be on TV and be on camera and stuff. That's a primary function of being on Big Brother. But what they did this year, I think, is they went and looked a little bit more on the superfan aspect because it makes for better competition and quality of the show.
Yeah.
Obviously they're looking for people that are also attractive and stuff. But so they do this thing called sequester for Big Brother. So basically they take you and they hold you
like a hotel.
for a while.
Yeah.
Basically in like a base camp. You're not allowed to interact with the outside world. They don't give you your phone. They take away everything. But they do give you like media. Like they give you like shows to watch and like stuff to read.
Probably all of Big Brother.
They give you seasons of Big Brother. They don't give you all of Big Brother. They give you I think they give you a couple seasons.
The non-racist seasons.
They give you a couple seasons, and the idea is that it's usually what they do is they give you a couple seasons that they're hoping you're sort of inspired by.
Fair enough.
So from the bios that you read from all the stuff they put out before, I think there were you could kind of tell, and I saw someone posting or talking about this. I forget who it was talking about how they like you could tell what seasons they probably got in sequester based on
Well, they asked who your favorite house guest was.
who your favorite house guest, who your favorite duo, stuff like that, like from the sequester seasons they got.
Yeah.
So I think there were a lot of Derek and Cody's,
Fair enough.
and which means I think they got season 16.
I think
and then they also might have got season 20 as well because there were I think a lot of Tylers.
I think they were given. I think you're right about that aspect. Like maybe they give specifics, but there are some people on there that had ones that I wouldn't have expected. You know, like earlier Big Brother and stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot of Dan Gieslings and stuff
And
like
I'm
that.
almost positive they would have given them last season's as like, just because, or if you've seen last season. What I was worried about was if everyone was forced to watch last season or did watch last season. What I was worried about is they saw the hostility, they saw like all the diversity stuff that was just very complicated and a lot of like trouble with it. What I was worried about was like during that slot thing, people would pick it so they look better. Do you know what I mean on camera? But like how Nicole was doing, where she was like, "Oh, I'm actually really good friends with Ian," but like really, it just came across like fake. So I was worried about that when I saw how they were doing it. But really, none of that it didn't come across like that once. Like I felt like all their picks were genuine.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, I'm picking this guy because I want to see him like better, or you know what I mean, like all of them are there to win, but all of them made genuine picks of like who they actually felt would be better, not just how they look. So to me, it's not like they're being promoters. You know what I mean? They're being genuine. Like I want to play the game, which I found so interesting, and like I'm already like captivated by by the season because I feel like this is going to be a good season.
Yeah, I really am, and I'm like I said, I was cautious coming into this season just because I didn't know what to
expect.
I didn't know what to expect. Two really bad back-to-back seasons. And I don't even remember the season before that. Tyler. Yeah, Tyler's season was right before that.
Which Tyler? Not the blonde one, right?
Tyler, the Tyler that was on All Stars last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was good. I love
He.
Tyler's game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
he was on the season right before the really really bad season, which was right before the really really bad All Star season.
Yeah.
So with all that, I mean, uh, I don't know. I don't know. It felt like they were sliding backwards, and I hope they put a hard stop to it. And I think they probably are putting a lot of things in place to make sure that they're doing that. So
I definitely think they are. I mean, I'm pretty sure for All Stars, they stated or someone stated that they were all given like diversity training, like understanding, emotional training for being a good person. But the All Stars were kind of, I feel like a weird group to test that out on.
yeah,
Whereas like when you're super fans, you're a fan of the show, you've seen it, you get a better understanding. So I really think, and with a diverse cast that comes across, like you're people from all different backgrounds, all different educations. So, and it didn't feel like they needed it as much because like they all seem genuinely nice. They all seem like they want to win. They haven't been there before. They're excited.
yeah,
I don't know. So it just feels like already CBS has done a better job with casting, with the production, with like actually getting people that people want to watch. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's going to be drama mode. It's going to be a villain at some point. That
yeah.
just comes across naturally when you have 16 strangers in a house fighting for what is now 750 grand.
Oh yeah, they upped the
Yeah.
prize pool this year.
Yeah.
They're up to $750,000 for Big Brother, which is interesting. I'd actually forgot that it was $500,000. For some reason, I had got it in my head that it was only 250K. And I don't know why. I've been watching Big Brother for a while. I feel like it might have used to be 250K, and then they upped it to 500. But I don't even know what show offers 250K.
I could have sworn it was The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but the
But like
contestants
I don't even think I was like that, like in not like obsessed with, but like I don't even think I was that like fixated on the money aspect of the Bachelor Bachelorette.
because they never bring it up.
I was just more fixated on the love of the true
love.
genuine love between Tasha and the other one.
I'm trying to see like how much prize money has been given in the past. It's kind of a hard thing to find. I mean, a favorite house guest is 25 grand, right?
Yeah, I think that's 25.
Yeah. Oh, and I hope they have. I mean, they'll have that, but I hope they also have like the secret. What they had in like Derek's season, the secret person to like secret
like
tasks,
America's House,
hug
America's team.
yeah, like hug this guy for 20 seconds. So
Those were fun, but like
they were fun, but they weren't serious to the game.
Some
You know
of
what I
them
mean?
were risky. Like some
Yeah.
of them were risky in that you could actually jeopardize your entire game doing some of the America's team stuff. Like, but like I guess that's good. Like you didn't have to do them.
Mm.
Yeah, you didn't have to do them. They were totally voluntary. But I don't know. I'm interested to see. Just like I think there's going to be a lot more twists this year. So it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm really excited. The season got me back in. The first episode got me back in.
I think
I'm
so, too.
locked in, baby.
Locked in.
Locked and loaded. Here we go.
We have 2 weeks to watch before our next podcast.
Yeah. We're gonna take next week off. I'm gonna be out of town. I'm not getting back until like next Sunday. So
We'll
I'm
have the
gonna
second week completed by then, which should be enough to where we'll start Tears Up.
yeah, I think that would be fair.
Yeah,
I think
because
we could
that'll
do
be
that.
that should be about 14 people left.
Yeah, I think we could do Tears by then. Dude, did you have any favorites so far? I know it's super super early, but maybe just like a couple guys, couple girls that you thought were worthy.
Yeah, so I definitely think the first girl that comes to mind that I think is going to be a good contender is Brittany. On all
Yeah.
honesty, with the whole I can't remember if it was judo or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or karate like background. So she's athletic. She has like a master career, is like very well educated. Seems like she'll have a good strategy. I think for a woman, she's up there with me. Same thing with actually Claire as well, who's the captain of
Did you say
Queens.
she's up there with you?
Oh, Claire.
I thought no. I thought you said she's up there with you,
No,
like with me.
no, not with you. You're not on the show yet.
No,
You have 5 more seasons.
No. You just said. I think like Brittany's up there with me.
Oh, I said that.
Yeah.
I was reading off with. I meant I was reading Claire. I don't know how I said me.
You said me.
She's right up there with me.
And I was like, all right.
I'm a 4th-degree black belt.
Yeah.
Highly educated.
So
yeah.
your two girl picks are Brittany and Claire?
Yeah, I think Brittany and Claire. I think I also think one that could be a strong contender would be Tiffany, but right now I just haven't seen her compete that well. So, but I think I'm gonna go with the Queen's team captain and then the second pick of the second pick of the Joker's team. Yeah, I think those are solid too for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have Claire in my top one. I think no, she won the first like
panel thing.
the first panel intro challenge thing pretty easily.
Yeah,
very
easy, very fast.
Which was really impressive, and then was able to kind of put it together with the like House of Cards thing, like the actual HOH challenge. Again, pretty easily. Like she was kind of doing all of that stuff. Like on the like she was basically like mapping it out all on the ground.
Yeah.
Before actually putting it up. So like seems smart, seems like she's sociable enough, can probably put it all together. I have her as probably my strongest girl so far. Just and obviously I think it's because we've seen the most FaceTime or not FaceTime, but we've seen the most like athletic ability and like competence from her so far. I think I probably have Hannah as my second girl.
A good pick.
She's really smart. She has she graduated high school early, graduated college early. She's already kind of gonna try to figure out like the playing dumb thing a little bit. So I know that's it's gonna be more of a challenge, I think, in terms of her figuring out like where that line is, or not necessarily playing dumb, but like definitely not playing up at being super smart. I think she's really hot, so that works.
Yes,
that'll work to her advantage. She's yeah, I think she's probably a sleeper pick for it. But it'll be interesting to see kind of how she rolls as the season goes on. That's one pick that I'm a little bit less confident in. Where she might be out in like week 3. But I don't know because like she's the youngest one on the cast, I think.
We really have to see the first full competition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
She's the youngest one on the cast, so she could go in there and like completely have a breakdown or like really fumble some social situations because she just gets completely out manipulated.
See, I think the social thing is, I think the good age to be social would be like around 30s.
Yep.
Just because you have more experience in life. And you're able to you're still used to being like fluent with different people. You know, I think once you start getting older, you also start like you have a sense of like, oh, I have like the wisdom. So I think that young age could come back to bite her, but it could also be in her benefit because we know she's intellectually smart.
Yeah.
You know, but street smart, we still have.
We'll see, and we'll learn pretty fast. I mean, Ian was like 18 or 19 when he won.
Exactly.
So like the youth thing isn't a complete knock.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just something to keep in mind.
Who was your first dude?
First dude, honestly, Kylan was impressing me. I don't know what it was. On the Queen's team, first pick from Claire. Something about him seems very charismatic. I think he can do fairly well. Like he's not like the most athletic guy in all of them, but I think he'll be able to do fairly well in like more like non-athletic competitions, and maybe athletic too. I don't know. I haven't seen him actually.
He's a big dude.
Well, he's a big dude, so maybe strength-based ones. I don't know if like endurance or whatever, but he just really impressed me with like how he was talking, how he was going about. It seems like he'll be able to get along with a lot of different people and maybe form interconnections with different teams.
Yep.
So I really think he's gonna be a strong first pick for me. And then honestly, still, despite him winning the 3 comps, Frenchie, I think he's going to make it far in the game.
Interesting.
Seems likable.
Yep.
People know he's strong, and like I said, we're talking about the stat of like 75% or so. I'll get that back in the 3rd week when we talk about it, but go on to the top 8. So I think people are going to want to form an alliance with them, and a lot of people, you know, will be like, "Oh, farmers are like farmers know their shit. Like they're pretty intelligent people. Like if you talk to them, like they have to know so many things, and being in the military, I'm sure helped with like getting to know new faces, seeing the world, seeing different cultures, so understanding people's perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
I really think for me that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, I get pretty not like as like what is it pohunk, bohunk? What's the word for like
I think
sort of like a happy-go-lucky but like sort of like dim-witted
I thought it was Pohunk, but I don't know.
pohunk?
I'll go with it for now.
I don't know, whatever word it is, that one. Uh, I don't really get those same vibes from Frenchie as I do, but he does remind me a little bit of like Donnie from
Yeah.
Big Brother 16, a little bit. And I think it's probably just because they're both like country farm type.
Camo.
Yeah, camo farmers.
See, but Donnie wasn't in the military. I don't think. I think
No,
was
he
just-
wasn't. They kept speculating he was. There was like he must
in
be
the
from
FBI.
Harvard. He must be CIA. And it's like, nah,
funny as shit.
I think he's just a groundskeeper.
Yeah.
And I think he was just a groundskeeper. So, but I can totally see both of those as being really strong picks. I think my top two, my top pick, I think it has to be Xavier.
Really athletic.
Super athletic. So really athletic, seems really charming.
Bartender, so he has to be, right?
No, he's a lawyer.
I thought who was the bartender?
He's saying he's a bartender.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
he is the lawyer.
He's a
so
lawyer.
He's already cunning, you know.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. He's
I
like, I'm
forgot.
walking in and saying I'm a bartender, so no one knows I'm a lawyer.
Look,
He's
even
like,
I got
have to
tripped
lie.
up.
Yeah,
Looking
exactly.
at his smile,
Look
like,
at
oh
you.
yeah.
So like, I like Xavier as a pick. He might get targeted maybe by other strong people, but it's all going to depend on how this season goes. So if I were to go based on very recent seasons, I would have to pick the strongest dude in the house to win the season.
Yeah.
I just have to do it. It happened in
Last one, All Stars.
it happened in All Stars with Cody, and it happened in the season before that with Jackson.
Yep.
And it
didn't happen the previous. That one was Nikki or
no, it was in Tyler's season.
I thought it was yeah, I thought not Nikki.
There is
I
no
know
Nikki.
her face. Not Star either. I know it was not her.
There was no Star.
Or Rockstar.
Oh, Rockstar was out in like
No, that's what I'm saying. I know it wasn't her, but it was
Big Brother 21.
it was the girl.
No, Big Brother 20 was the. It was a girl. Oh,
Yeah.
Nicole Anthony.
No, not Nicole. It was I can't remember her name. I think
Big Brother. Oh, Casey.
Yeah.
Casey. She's on the challenge now. She's awful on the challenge. She's super boring.
well, what I'm saying is she was the last one to win.
She was also a challenge beast. Like
Well,
she
she
a
was athletic as fuck.
Comp beast.
Well, she was the strongest woman on her season. I just meant in terms
Yeah.
of like, but strength really is a great ability to have.
It used to be something where you didn't have to be the strongest person in the house to win, and like now, if you had only ever watched last 3 seasons of Big Brother and had never watched anything before, you would be able to say that all you have to do is not piss people off and win challenges in order to win an entire season. So like, it's all going to depend on how these people play the season. I'm picking Xavier for recency bias sake, but also understanding that he is really smart. He can't be manipulative. He is a lawyer. So like, I think that's probably got to be my top pick. My second pick is going to be Derek X.
Yep.
He I think could do a lot of that flying under the radar. I think if this is more of a strategy based game, I think he's probably got the social aspect down pretty well. It'd be interesting to see how he meshes. I think there's a fair amount of like bros in the house.
Well, he did say he was in a fraternity.
Yeah,
And he went to state in tennis, so
he
you
can-
know.
So there's a fair amount of bros, but he can mesh with the bros.
Yeah.
But he can also there's a pretty decent mix of not broed out douchebags.
Well, yeah, his sport of choice was tennis, so like he can get along with the other people that aren't.
But like the
that aren't
fact that
bros,
there
like
is
football
there
bros.
is a good balance of not having an entire house full of roided out assholes.
No, I understand.
So
yeah.
if it comes down to sort of being able to mesh amongst both of those cliques, if that's how those cliques are determined, and Big Brother is a game of cliques, it probably I think he could probably do pretty well.
Yeah, and I assume he's pretty. I mean, I can see he's kind of charismatic, but the fact that he's like a startup founder, so he's like had to do some grinding. I mean, I don't know where he got capital from, but like also like talking to investment so like he knows how to work people and be charismatic to get
Yeah.
what he wants. So I think I'll look into his company, see how think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's like Mama and Pa Investment Co. But yeah, I think he could be a solid contender too.
Yeah,
So
I think I'm pretty confident in all of them so far, but it is only episode 1.
yeah,
And we've got a lot more fucking episodes to go. Oh my god,
and
do
we
we have
will
more
only be
episodes to go?
doing one episode a week.
One episode a week, guys. Summer
Mm-mm.
it's not
No bueno.
not easy. Listen, and we weren't even doing video then.
Nope. It is now 1
We
week.
didn't do any video for that, right?
Nope.
'Cause
We
we-
started a video with Bachelorette.
That's right. So it's this is new. Or not new. We've been doing it for a while, but like
Yeah.
this is something where you boys moving at the end of the summer. Gonna try and keep this nice and simple. 1 episode a week. It'll be a nice recap episode. It'll give us an opportunity to cover everything. Nice and concise, no filler.
Yep.
Not every episode is gonna feel like a complete like waste of time. Always felt like sometimes the episodes last summer were like, how do we fill a full fucking 45 minutes to an hour? I don't know. Let's talk in circles for a while.
Yeah, and I think it'll just give us way more. I mean, even right now we're at 45 minutes just with the first episode, no comp.
Yeah.
I think it'll just give us a lot more because sometimes they're like, oh, they had a veto competition and it's like 30 minutes of filler that no one cared about.
There was so many episodes where it was like there was no content and you're already over at my apartment. What are we supposed to talk about?
Exactly. So now we'll have the full veto, the full challenge, all the drama that happened in 3 episodes, 3 hours of content that we can boil down to our opinion. So so I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
For 1 episode.
Me too. So I'm very excited for 1 episode. So it'll be really good. But we really hope you guys are excited to come along with us. So yeah, let us know what you thought of the first episode of Big Brother. Are you guys excited that it's back? Are you more optimistic for this season than past season? Are you not? What do you think of the cast? I don't know. A lot of questions, a lot of hypotheticals. They're all open-ended.
They are all open-ended.
And you want to know why they're all open-ended? For engagement, because I'm a little fucking sucker for engagement. So go ahead, let us know what you think. This podcast is up on a bunch of different platforms. It is up on iTunes, it is up on Spotify, and it is also up on YouTube. So you can go ahead and consume it however you'd like. On iTunes and on Spotify, we are up at Reality Wagon. On YouTube, we are up at ANMC Studios. So you can watch it there. We're not going to have that much graphics, at least this week. We might do more graphics as stuff happens, but like
as we get more personalities,
as we get better at doing this. So yeah, all that stuff will go up there. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can like it on YouTube. Both of those are really cool. Just fucking do it. Just make me happy for once. Jesus Christ, I live such a sad, miserable life. You can follow us 2 different places. iTunes. You can follow us. Scrap that. You can follow us 2 different places. Twitter. That's a place to follow us. Instagram. Also a place to follow us. I think I'm going to start live tweeting the episodes again when I can find some time to watch them live.
Yep.
And that's always a really good time too. I like doing that. So if you want live tweets while the episode's going on, that's what I'm here for, fella.
We can save those also for Sunday and then record right afterwards. Typically, not this Sunday, but the other ones like. Live tweet the full, season, what we think of it, and then record right
live tweet the full episode.
Yeah, the full episode.
I can live tweet all the episodes.
Oh yeah, I meant if you don't have time to watch some of it, but like
I
think
the
main one we should probably do.
Yeah. If we're recording it right after a watch, maybe just tune in. Maybe we'll just do a Sunday tweet-a-thon.
Exactly.
And then wow, that girl is hot. Sorry, we're watching the Phoenix Suns game. Super long outro, but yeah, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We'll have all this shit up everywhere. Just do the thing, please. Cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. Let's get out of here. All right. Have a good night. See you guys later.
Good night.